we wrap up Women's Month, we look at young African women who are pushing the boundaries. One such woman is Nomfundo Mphuthi. She joins us live from London now to tell us about her journey. A very good evening to you, Nomfundo. Thank you so much for speaking to us. So you were in South Africa, but I believe you originally started working in London but made your way down to South Africa. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. So I started I firstly studied at UCT. So I'm a Joburg girl, but I got to study at UCT studying finance. And my first job was actually working in London at Goldman Sachs as a business analyst. But after 3 years, I came back home to SA and was working as a strategy consultant.
I mean, just looking at your vast experience, is there anything in particular that you can pinpoint to that helped you just get a leg up to climb that ladder? You've worked for multiple international organizations and has done some quite impressive work, which surely can't be easy, especially if you're breaking barriers internationally.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, firstly, you've always got to be yourself. I mean, if you try to fake it, be someone else, people will always be able to tell. And one thing I'd say for me, working internationally, so now being back at London as Director of Strategy at List, those unique experiences that I have, being a South African, being a Black woman, being from where I'm from, my whole story gives me unique perspectives and ways of thinking about things that I try to apply daily in my job.
So how has that helped you? And if you could just share a little bit about your unique story and how it's helped you overcome not only challenges, but actually shine in, as you say, where you're faced with difficulties, where you can apply your problem solving differently.
Yeah, good question. I mean, lots of ways. I mean, I think for me, when I was in my stint when I was working in South Africa and actually working across Africa. So I worked on these big strategy projects with companies across South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana. I worked with companies manufacturing biscuits as well as telcos, all solving different problems, whether it was trying to grow their business, trying to reduce costs, or trying to look for new opportunities. And working in an African environment, very often there isn't any data. The detailed reports that you might have in the US or the UK about a market, we don't have that. So we have to use think a bit creatively. You think about new ways to analyze things, new ways of looking at things, because it's just a different environment. And that sort of thinking and creativity and a little bit of hustle, I'm able to apply to my job. So now when I'm working in my current role and I'm thinking about new opportunities for the company or better ways for us to add more value to our customer, I can think and approach things creatively because I'm used to being in an environment that's maybe potentially has less data or is a bit more informal. I've developed these different ways of thinking about problems.
So paying your dues, so to speak, has helped you navigate the choppy waters. And I want you to bring in COVID-19 then into this picture. How has that challenged you, and has it made you to look for different areas to disrupt? And what could you say to young women about, I mean, people often talk about networks, the importance thereof, but access is a major part of that. How do you remain productive during these challenging times?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very big challenge, I think, COVID-19. I'm very fortunate in my work. We're a digital company. I was able to work at home. I still work from home. But what I'd say is, for me, the key things that have helped me navigate and just cope with all this change has been, one was firstly focusing on my health. That was, and I think for everybody, we're still in the pandemic. I know it's hard to believe it's gone on this long, but it's always like I've been focusing on my health first and foremost. And then secondly, what became really important was my mental health. I think when you have this routine that you used to, going to work, coming back, meeting friends, all of these sorts of things, and it's suddenly gone. I had to come up with new strategies and in keeping myself sane, basically. And for me, it was things, exercise, it was meditation, it was regular calls with friends, family, loved ones. But that's sort of how I managed to keep my mental health intact. And yeah, I'd say lastly, the main thing is just, surrendering to realize that, there's a lot of changes happening. We can't control everything, and trying to just keep a positive outlook. I think that has helped me navigate all of these changes around COVID and the challenges.
So, Nomfundo, just a quick and final question. Speaking about change, but more importantly, uncertainty, knowing that Africa's youth account for 70% of the global youth demographic, they've suffered a lot of them struggling to find jobs and even hold on to hope that they will find jobs, let alone achieve their dreams. What do you say to them, and how do they change their thinking on what they need to get into right now? The world is changing, so is the world of work.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. I feel for all the young people, especially those who graduated or just came out of school around this pandemic. I'd say for me, one of the things is as an opportunity. I think anytime there's a crisis, a catastrophe, there's always an opportunity. So for some people, it might be using this crisis as an opportunity to change careers. Maybe you're in an industry like oil and gas, and you've realized, okay, this is now the time to move to renewables. This is the future. So that might be an opportunity for you to really look and see, how's the world changing? Where's the opportunity for me? And then for myself, because I work in technology, I think technology can really offer a lot of new opportunities. I mean, there's jobs that exist today and ways of making money, whether it be social media, things like TikTok, Instagram Reels. So there's a lot of new ways to make money that we haven't thought of. I've seen a story of a Zimbabwean gentleman who created a whole tutoring company using WhatsApp. So there's a lot of new ways to make money, and I would really think creatively about that. And then in terms of keeping hope, this time will pass. So try as young people to keep some way of working or getting your skills, keeping your skills fresh. So, maybe it's developing a portfolio of work. Maybe it's writing a blog where you're giving you ideas on company strategies, something that says, to me, somebody who does hire, something that can, that can make you stand out when you're in the market.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, and wishing you all the best. That there is Nomfundo Mphuthi. She's a strategy director at List in London.